Hey guys, it's Randy here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tow-Rax aluminum tool storage cabinet. Now this is going to be a very nice way to keep all of your tools in order, keep them out of a toolbox where you have to dig through it constantly and try to get in there and find the right one. We've got organization for our wrenches on each side, plenty of spots for other tools to go. And the thing I like most about this, it's a modular system. It mounts using keyholes that come down onto aluminum buttons. You can see our holes here, from here to the other side. These are going to be 16 inches on center. Works out really well for most household studs, studs inside of our trailers here. And you're going to get two sets of those. So we can mount one in our trailer here. So when we're going out riding or something like that, we've got all of our tools accessible. But then once we get back for the weekend, we can just grab it, pull that right off the wall. We can carry this in. We can hang it up in our garage or where we might need it throughout the week. And when we're ready to head out riding again, we just bring it back out, get them lined up, and just allow it to slide down and in. At that point, we'll know our tools are going to be secure to where we get where we're going, and we can use them whenever we need them. And we have accommodations here for a 10 millimeter up through 18 millimeter. For a 3/8 up to 13/16 wrench, and the standard size. The one thing I've kind of found out about it, and I also heard it from a customer, is that ratcheting wrenches don't slide through those slots. So if you want to use this with ratcheting wrenches, you're probably going to have to open those up just a little bit. But be sure to do it just large enough for your ratchet side to fit through there. If you don't, then the head's going to fall through and it'll be useless. So I would use a lot of caution there. But outside of that, I like the way it works. I like the way it's configured. Like our longer pry bars and stuff, we can get in there and let them stand up. Then we've got our trim panel tool, our small pry bar here, different needle nose, side cutters, pliers, stuff like that. And then for the larger stuff, or slip jointed pliers, you can see I've got a pair here. These were a little bit too big. They wanted to spread out kind of too much. And the same here with the crimping tool. Sliding it down in there, it didn't seem to fit perfect. You can see it just kind of really wants to spread out really wide. So overall, I think it's really nice. I like how many tools that we can get in here, and I like the fact that I don't have to have a set of tools for my trailer, and I don't have to have a set of tools for my house, and I don't have to worry about leaving a particular tool at the house that I forgot to throw in the trailer. I really like how it works. I really like how it fits. All the shelves are pretty shallow. It doesn't stick out from the wall a great deal, so you're not taking up a lot of space like what you would with a bigger toolbox. They also offer several other kind of models of this. This one's the tool storage rack, so it's designed for tools, but there's also a model very similar to this, mounts using the same style of fasteners. They're a little bit closer together. It's just a nice little small cabinet. I think we got 4 or 5 quarts of oil in the top, 4 or 5 aerosol cans inside. So I like that. And then they also have a larger cabinet than that you can get. I think we had like 10 quarts of oil in it, 10 aerosol cans. That one, however, does not have this mounting system. So that one you would be more permanently mounting. It's a good option. Has the folding table like the smaller cabinet we just told you about, and like this one. But I really like this. I think it's a great way to get our tools neatly organized so we're not searching for them through a little toolbox or something like that. Now, the table is going to give us a nice light working surface. This isn't something I'd be hammering on trying to drive a bearing out or trying to drive a race out or anything like that. But I think for just light duty stuff or just trying to kind of get a brake caliper put back together or something like that, I think it's going to work out really well. It gives you plenty of surface area there, and it has a raised lip all the way around the outside. Generally when I work on something, I'm always dropping something, so I like if I drop a small fastener or a small bolt, it's not just going to roll off the table and then I have to try to find it. It's all going to be contained in there, nice and easy to get to. Now, to give you just a few dimensions, we'll start by measuring just how big it is top and bottom and side to side. Looks like on the outside of the lip there to the outside of the lip here, we've got about 25 3/4. And if we go from the top of it all the way to the bottom, we got right at 30 inches. And I think that's going to give you a good idea if this is going to fit in the areas that you have in mind. And from your mounting surface out to the very edge here, we're looking at about 4 3/4 of an inch. So again, like we said, it doesn't take up a whole lot of room, but it proves to be very useful. Now, as far as the table itself, we'll measure all the way back to the edge. Looks like it's going to be about 15 9/16 inch deep. We've got about 24 9/16 inches of width, so gives us a pretty nice large working surface there for sure. Now let's get an idea of the spacing that we have here. From the top of our wrench shelf here to the top of the other one, we've got about 11.5 inches. And then we can go from the top of that to the bottom of this inside storage. And there we're looking at about 11.5. So both of them pretty close to being 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches on spacing. Our true interior dimension here, we're looking at right at 25 inches. All right, we've gone over the size of it. We've gone over what it's going to hold for you. Now let's step into the kind of the installation process and see how that looks. Now to begin the installation process, we need to decide where we want to mount the cabinet, where it's going to be most effective. We're going to take one of our buttons. We're going to be going right here on the wall. We're going to use one of the bolts that are holding the plywood over here to the actual bracing. The mounting locations are on 16-inch centers, so that makes it really good for use in regular wood studs, or in our case, our trailer has supports on 16-inch centers, so we're going to be using those with some self-tapping screws once we get into the other locations. Just going to start by removing this one. And while you can see it is beveled, and it does come with hardware for mounting, which are going to be these wood screws, these aren't going to be applicable into steel. You know, I guess we could drill a hole and try to run them in. I think self-tappers are going to be just as good in that sense. Using this, run that down and in and get it secure. That's going to be our starting point. And then even with using some self-tapping screws here just like that, they might sit on top like that, but our cabinet fits over it and then slides down. So even if you want to use some hex bolts to mount it to plate steel, you're not going to have any interference there. With that one in, we'll hang our cabinet there. We want to get it leveled out. And then we can do these backwards just for marking where we want. Mark that location, we'll get our hole started. All right, now once I have those two in place, I like to hang it on there, make sure they're positioned appropriately, then we can mark and put in our lower ones. Yeah, that fits on good there, so just get the lower ones done. All right, now with the four positioned where we want them, we'll just bring our cabinet up, lined up and slid down in position. So we've got our two here, and again, you're going to get two sets of that hardware, so at this point, we've got this one where we want it, so head into your garage, your basement, your other trailer, wherever you might need this cabinet, and get your other ones installed just the same way. So as you guys can see, not only does it keep our tools in good order so we're not looking for them, but it also looks really nice. I like the aluminum, I like the construction, and overall I think you'll be very happy with it. I like the fact that we can move this from place to place, and for tool storage and trailers or garages and houses, this is definitely something I would own.